Good evening. It is Monday, April 30th, 2018. We are the Bitter Knitters. My name is Jacqueline. Arthur's here.
Hey.
Last day of April.
Yeah.
That means tomorrow is going to be...
May?
You got to do the Timberlake. It's gonna be May.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the whole
I mean,
May.
I'm lame, but not that fucking lame.
I will only do the Timberlake from NSYNC, not the new Timberlake, because I really despise him. So, anything new? Anything exciting?
No, not really. Not really.
Yeah.
You know, my hockey season's over, so, you know, there's that.
Yeah. Well, that was my joke on last week when you weren't here. I said he claims it's the internet, but I really think it's because there's the convergence of every Toronto team playing a sporting event, except for the Argos, I guess.
Yeah, the Argos aren't the only ones. But no, I literally pulled the entire insides of my fucking modem out. Fucking bullshit. Like, fucking ridiculous. I didn't know they made these things.
Rogers didn't make quality product?
Yeah, right? Right? Fuck. Yeah, it was stupid. Like, because all I did was I just unhooked the coaxial cable from the back of it, and the entire insides of it fucking came with it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was not happy. I was not happy.
Yeah, because you're just doing what you would normally do anyway.
Yeah,
unplugging.
Right. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There's no reason.
And I mean, I don't think you're like, you know, the Incredible Hulk yanking shit out like with super strength.
No, I'm weak as fuck. Not just in my constitution either.
Just in his words.
Yeah, exactly. Like, not even just my constitution. I'm just weak. Like, it's just.
So, I wanted to do an update, and I can't. Oh, I know what it was. I was going to talk about really. I don't know how quickly it'll be, but big announcement last week on Friday. The two Koreas have announced the end of their war.
Yep.
And that they're one blood, one people, and they're going to come together. And I guess we'll see some sort of unification. Yep.
As long as 45 commits to the redoing or whatever it was, like kind of replacing the embargoes or whatever since the 50s.
And stuff,
yeah, the sanctions. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, which is cool. And I mean, again, like, I'm just getting a huge kick out of this. Like, not only peace in the Korean Peninsula, like, that's awesome. That's been a fairly volatile area. But all the fucking, like, because people don't know how to respond because, I mean, let's face it. I mean, Moon even said, like, if it wasn't for Trump, this wouldn't have happened. Right? So it's like, how do these Trump haters react to this? Like, these people that are just...
Even a horrible person can do something right every once in a while. Yeah. And congratulations. Yeah. I'm not going to take it away from him.
Nope. No, I mean, I think it's fucking great.
Does he deserve the Nobel Peace Prize? Not quite yet, but we'll see.
I don't know. I don't know about that. If he really did, if he played as intricate as a role as they're saying in peace talks in that area, I believe he deserves it way more so than Obama did.
My only worry about this, or I don't want to say worry, my only asterisk, I guess I'll say, on this whole thing and on Trump's victory in this, is what the Chinese are saying, that North Korea's whole nuclear mountain where they were doing all their testing could completely collapse and destroyed all their nuclear testing. Maybe that was another, you know.
Maybe.
What's the word? What the hell is texting me? Another, you know, kind of kick in the ass to kind of, well, we're not going to get our nuclear bombs anymore, so let's go.
Maybe. I mean, there's definitely a chance of that being the truth of the matter, but at the same point in time, I mean, as it stands right now, we all got to say thanks 45, and that one to me just tickles me because it's funny.
And if the leader of the Koreas are saying it was up to Trump, I mean, we have to take their word for it, right?
Like, we're not there. We don't know about their the diplomacy, you know. So it's. I mean, I probably would take her word over most.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's great. I mean, now if he can only get in there and work that same Trump magic on the Kashmir province in India and Pakistan, and you know, quell that fucking garbage fire. Maybe,
I made a little joke today though. I don't even know, maybe New York Times or something, talking about how Trump wants to hold the meeting at the DMZ.
Yep.
Right. And I'm like, are you sure he's not confusing it with the TMZ? So.
See, now even that one, I've seen some people chirp, and I think it's actually a good sign of respect from him. Like,
he's not choosing either country.
Exactly. To say, hey, you know, let's go to a place that, like, both of you guys should technically feel comfortable-ish. You know, obviously a demilitarized zone isn't that comfortable, but it's still within their countries. you know, I actually do like that. I think it was a smart move.
I think it's smart too. I do think it's smart too.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's not going to be like the Berlin Wall coming down where people were immediately flowing across borders. This is going to be a long time in reunification. If it's a true reunification, it might not ever be like that, right?
Just because they're talking peace talks doesn't mean that Un's going to, you know, release his stranglehold that he has over his people. There's no guarantee of that. But I mean, what this does say is that the threat of a Korea-America nuclear war is pretty much nullified, which is fucking exciting.
And that's fantastic too, because not just for, you know, the leaderships in North Korea, but like, let's look at the people who've really been suffering. They're going to have access to food, water, medicine.
I mean, we hope.
We hope,
right? There's still no guarantee.
If these sanctions are ended, you know, hopefully that will happen. Technology, even, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping it all turns out for the better. Because I mean, let's face it, like it was a bullshit like fight essentially from the get go. Like, you know what I mean? Like the North Koreans, like as much as I can understand them wanting to, you know, defend themselves and protect their home, whatever, they had no chance in hell of winning that fucking fight.
No.
None. Like none. I don't care that you have nuclear bombs. Like that's great. It's terrifying, sure, whatever. But have you ever dropped one? Has your country ever engaged without the Chinese backing in a full-scale war? Because that's what the Americans are about. They fucking eat, sleep, dream, and shit fucking war. Like that's what that's their wet dreams.
They're a war machine. That's all they are.
Exactly, right? That's all they want to do is fucking war and murder and war and murder. So like to pick a fight with them on that stage, you're dumb. You know, like
they had no chance.
Zero fucking chance. And it would have been a fucking shit show if anything ever would have happened.
Yeah. I mean, you would have saw North Korea completely wiped off the map.
Well, absolutely, right? Because I mean, let's face it, their only cause of recourse would have been to drop their own nukes, and if they would have done that, I'm sorry, the Americans would have ensured that every single fucking North Korean person was dead.
They might have got maybe they have one or two missiles, and they might have got them off to some American cities.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, but America is literally going to end not just Pyeongchang. Nope. They're going to end everything.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah. That's not it's literally not a country unless you're, you know.
You got more than 10 people in your hut. Bye.
Yeah, right. Well, that's it. Like realistically nowadays, like unless you are fucking China or Russia, you don't have a chance of fucking taking them on. You don't. You don't. Like they're just too fucking big. Their military industrial complex is fucking too big.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. It's you know, it's ushering us into another realm of the future. Same with the Saudi thing.
Exactly.
Like as we're regressing into some bullshit, it seems like, you know, globally we're, you know, as a civilization, we're making some steps in the right direction. But I mean, it still remains to be seen what's actually going to happen. And you know,
well, we'll keep our eye on it, and let's thank hockey. I'm going to thank hockey, the women's hockey team that joined forces. Yeah. I think this is the true, real, you know, the real peacekeeping, you know, political motivating people here. I just want to say to Sister Patty, I know she's not listening right now, but you know what time this podcast starts at. Why are you texting me when it's on? Okay. I know you're going to be listening later. So, okay. So let's talk about the big blow up of the weekend, the big controversy. So they had the yearly White House Correspondents dinner where all these like political types and media type gets together and they have a dinner and blah, blah, blah. And it's usually really boring, but they get a comedian to come in and do some jokes. I know a couple years when Obama was there, he did some funny, you know, jokes and, you know, killed it, I guess, what people always said. But so this year was Michelle Wolf. Now she's a comedian. She used to work on Seth Meyers' show. I think she's also on the Colbert Show, and I think she's been on what's that show with Trevor Noah?
The Daily Show?
The Daily Show. I think she's been on the Daily Show too.
Okay.
So she's a comedian. I guess they didn't know what she was getting into because she's not clean. And it wasn't even so much about the jokes, I guess, like the topics of the joke, because she didn't really go, I didn't think she went super cruel to anybody. But people said she was too mean. She was too vulgar. She did say things like pussy and shit and referenced masturbation and men getting their dicks out.
Oh, no.
I know. Shocking. But apparently where she crossed the line was her meanness towards Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who was like two people away from her on the podium.
Yeah.
The jokes she made, I thought were fine. She said, "I'm starstruck, your greatest Aunt Lydia" on Handmaid's Tale. Now, if anybody watches that, Aunt Lydia is like one of the ladies who controls the handmaids, and she gives them their punishments, and she's tough, and she, you know, she's very stern. Yeah. That's how Sarah's Huckabee Sanders comes across. I got the joke. I didn't think she was calling her ugly. She made a joke about her smoky eye, saying that her smoky eye was amazing. She uses her burnt lies. I thought, yeah, that's a good, you know. And then she made a really good joke that I loved. Let me see if I can find it. It was, she's like, what do you call somebody like an Uncle Tom except for white women against women? I thought, that was good. The only people she physically attacked on looks was she made a joke about Mitch McConnell's neck, which everybody does, and Chris Christie's weight, which everybody does.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, she kept it really to kind of people's personalities, I guess. I mean, Sarah Huckabee lies. We know she lies. That's what she pointed out. Lies, lies, lies. She made a joke about Kellyanne Conway being like the name Conway was perfect for her because she's a con woman, and she hoped a tree would fall on her in the forest, but not kill her, just get her stuck there. Right? I mean, she had some good jokes. I laughed. There was a couple where I just sat there, but I was never once offended. And I think it's kind of ironic that all these pearl clutching conservatives are suddenly so offended.
Yep. The people that are supposedly championing this whole fucking, they're coming for my freedom of speech, and then get butthurt at somebody exercising their freedom of speech. Like,
but let's not forget about their own fucking god, 45. What has he said about women? Yeah. He likes to grab their pussies. That was one of the jokes she made about Trump. Mm-hmm. I wanted him to be here. I would have dragged him here myself, but I guess he's the only pussy you can't grab in America. Right? I mean, she made a... I don't know. I mean, he made the jokes. He made the tweet about, what's his name? The little evil troll guy that's from Texas. Ted Cruz, about his wife. Remember he made that post about how his wife was ugly and Trump's wife was beautiful? So, I mean, this guy is not like he's a bastion of freaking sainted ideas.
No, absolutely not. Again, what do you expect? She's a fucking comedian. Like, fuck off. Like,
exactly.
Stop being soft. And this is one of the things.
Even the White House Correspondents Association has now come out and said it was awful, and they're not happy with it, and they don't stand by her words.
Oh, boo fucking who? Suck a dick.
Exactly.
Like, literally, suck a fucking dick, you fucking whiners. I'm so sick of this shit. Like, I'm so fucking sick. How's it offensive? It's words. Oh my God, you can't handle words? Like, fuck out of here. Go fucking go cry into a fucking your red, white, and blue, you fucking loser.
And she didn't just, like, this is the point. She didn't just make jokes about conservatives. Mm-hmm. She was making jokes about the Democrats. She made jokes about CNN. She goes, you guys are always breaking news. She goes, well, you did it. You broke news, right? She made jokes about Jake Tapper's orgasm face. She made jokes about, I can't even remember everybody. She made jokes about everybody. She made a joke about the Morning Joe, those liberal guy on MSNBC and his girlfriend Mika.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, oh, they're together, they're engaged now. They're like when a Me Too works out. She had some good shit in there.
See, like it's this type of stuff though that makes me embarrassed to say that I am a conservative. And it always has. Like, literally, it's always made me kind of very wary of discussing my own political leanings, because conservatives are the softest fucking people out there for the most part.
You're talking about snowflakes, and they're the ones that are like, burning effigies of Michelle Wolf right now.
The amount of times I see them go libtard, but yet they're doing the same shit they're bitching about these other people doing. It's like, get the fuck over yourself. Yeah. They cry about safe spaces, but they need their own fucking safe spaces so they can fucking feel. It really does make me feel embarrassed to align myself with them. But unfortunately, that's my leaning of
and she went down in flames for the most part, because that group there was, at the beginning, there was a lot of laughter. Partway through where she got a little kind of tougher on people, less so laughter, but there was one guy who kept like clapping and going woo, so he was down for it.
And I've seen her comedy before. I don't particularly find her that funny. Like, that's just me. I don't, it's got nothing to do with her political leaning or anything. I just didn't like her delivery. I'm in all honesty, I don't like any female comedian that does the the Amy Schumer, like, my vagina. Like, no one fucking cares. I kind of felt like she reminded
me of Roseanne, and the way Roseanne kind of shouts her line. Yeah. That's what I noticed. She was like, that kind of like she says the line and then she shouts the punchline. I'm not a huge fan of Michelle Wolf either, but I thought she had some good ones. I'll give her that.
Yeah, it's just dumb. It's such a dumb thing to cry
But we
about.
both support her right to make her jokes. And people, you hired a comedian. Yep. You should have did some research. If you wanted somebody nice, it was like, who said it? I don't know where I saw it, but somebody said the only two people that you could really get to play there and not offend anybody would be Jeff Foxworthy and that
Larry
Jeff Dunham.
Cable guy.
Or Jeff Dunham.
Yeah, Dunham. Yeah, any one of these
Republican. You want milk toast like that? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But that's comedy isn't fun if it's not at someone's expense. Exactly. Like flat out, it's not. It's just not fun.
She attacked her own stuff. She talked about how she has no tits and she has bad teeth, and she talked about how yarn sales are up, pink yarn sales, because of those pussy hats. And she's like, "That's a pussy." She goes, "Mine must have a lot more yarn." Like she wasn't above taking hits at her own self too. So, I mean, it was a long set. If you ever get a chance to watch it, it's 19 and a half minutes, but
I probably won't. Like I said, I can't stand her. I'm not a fan of her comedy, but good on you. And I mean, now just keep running with it. Just keep running with it. Like, again, I may align myself with conservatives, but I still enjoy watching them.
She's got a show coming on Netflix soon called The Break, so I'm sure she'll get a lot of hits now because she is so,
good stuff. No, good stuff.
All publicity is good publicity, right?
You know, it's funny because even at the beginning of, when 45 was first elected, and I was thinking to myself, like, oh my God, look at these liberals crying in the streets. And then all of a sudden, the conservatives come out of the fucking woodwork crying over fucking everything. And it's like, Jesus Christ, guys, like, calm the fuck down. Like, have you ever heard about being a gracious fucking winner? You know what I mean? Like,
no.
Were you ever taught sportsmanship? No? Oh, that's right, because you guys shoot caged lions. Like,
and then, of course,
not about you.
45 made his tweet about it, basically saying how she bombed, and the only person worse than her was Seth Meyers. And Seth Meyers famously hosted and made the joke about how Donald Trump could never be president. Yeah. And that's when everybody believes that Donald Trump, said, "Fuck you, Myers, I'm going to become president." And here we are.
Whatever. Who fucking cares? Like, keep it up. Keep it up. Like, just keep fucking busting balls. I mean, I'm personally having a good time with it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, we're going to have our own craziness like that very soon. So, so let's talk about something that I guess both sides could use right now. The University of Utah has installed in their library until the end of finals in May, in May, the Cry Closet.
Fuck out of here.
So it was an art installation that some kid made at the school, Nemo. But the university decided that would let it stay there. So you got a 10-minute limit. It's for students to go in to cry when they're stressed out from finals or just life in general. They have 10 minutes. There's one person at a time only. There's some stuffed animals in there to cuddle. Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, are you fucking kidding? Oh, a cry room. Yeah, no, that's definitely how to adjust yourself for life outside of school, you fucking infant. Like, fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. I mean, for fuck's sakes. Like, I mean, I was working this warehouse job, and I watched a guy fucking try to stop a forklift from hitting a wall with his arm. I watched his arm fucking stick out of his fucking skin. Was I allowed to go cry? No, because this is the real world. You have to get back to fucking work. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
My first real job, I had an asshole for a boss, and that guy would come and yell at us. And other than my father, I had never really been yelled at by anybody. And I remember he made me cry. And was I allowed to leave and go to the cry closet? No, I had to sit at my desk and continue doing the job.
Yeah, because that's
you know
life.
What? That shit toughened me up. Do you think anybody at work making me cry now?
Exactly.
Just ridiculous. But you know what I mean? Like, this is the stuff, like, when the conservatives keep talking about, like, these liberal, like, suckies and, this shit just gives them more weapons to attack you with. You're giving them evidence to why you're a snowflake.
Yeah. But they're all fucking snowflakes, and they all have their own fucking safe spaces.
Go into their little closet, too.
They all have their fucking quote-unquote safe spaces. They're all fucking weak. Like, they're all, like...
The conservatives go to the gun clubs. That's where they get their safe spaces.
Right? And obviously I wasn't here during Wednesday to fly off the handle about the incels.
Yeah.
But
go ahead now. I'm fine with that.
It's the same fucking thing. And this is why I'm so against the idea of a safe space where we can groupthink and share the same ideas. Because that's what happened with these fucking incels. Yeah. It was never, I mean, historically, there have always been men that have never gotten married.
Yeah.
But it's not until they got in a fucking group with other people bitching and moaning and commiserating with themselves that they finally become violently misogynistic. It's the same with fucking feminists. Yeah. It's the same with the feminists. The second the feminists get in their little fucking safe spaces, they get violent. They get violent. Like they want to fucking kill men and shit like that. It's no fucking different. And you allow this type of
I will say just this one thing, though, that I'm aware of. I could be wrong. I can't remember ever a feminist killing a large group of people.
Not yet.
Yet, touch wood, it's not happening.
Not yet. But what you do get is you get the male feminists that carry out these acts.
Yeah, that's true. That's
the professor, I can't think of the school he was in. He's a member of Antifa. He's a self-proclaimed male feminist, and he fucking smashed an old man in the head with a lock and a sock.
That's sick.
And he never got them fucking violent urges until they fucking founded their safe spaces and decided that they can spew their fucking hatred. Yeah. And this is the thing that pisses me off the most about it. Because if we found out that there was a fucking safe space for fucking white supremacists, society-wide, we'd be up in fucking arms. Oh, we got to end that. We got to end that. We got to end that. But yet, any other fucking safe space, any other fucking place where people can come together and sit in a fucking room of groupthink and not have anybody go, whoa, whoa, calm the fuck down. This is the shit you get. I mean,
this is. Oh, go on, finish.
It's just, you know, for years now, I've known about the incels. I mean, for fucking years, I've known about these fucking losers. And it wasn't until I found out that they have, and it's not even their subreddit. It's not brain cells. It's got to do with incel.me. And when
I went there to look when somebody shared a link, I wanted to see what it was about.
They are fucking disgusting.
I couldn't get on any of the things they were crashing.
You know, being misogynistic is one thing. I don't even care. You want to be misogynistic, you want to be a fucking member of fucking the He-Man Woman Haters Club, fine. By all means, fucking go for it. The second you get in these little fucking clubs and become violently misogynistic, I have
some guy saying he wants to rape a girl and put acid in her face and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, the incels are fucking, they're fucked.
Well, this is what I want to say about the incels. So this guy who did the attack in Toronto last week, and he's not the worst looking person in the world.
No.
You know, groom your eyebrows. You know, the one that he, Elliot Rogers, the one that he,
Elliot Rogers was a good looking kid.
Good looking.
He
had fucking money. So it tells you that if you can't get laid when you're driving, somebody told me he's driving an $80,000 car. You can't get laid driving an $80,000 car, something's wrong with you.
No, absolutely. But here's the other issue with these incels. They can get laid. It's just they don't believe that they should be dating. I mean, and I hate saying this shit, in their own fucking lane. Right?
They want a 9 and 10.
Exactly. But you have literally nothing to offer. You have nothing to fucking offer. I am an ugly fucking dude. And I can get fucking girls. You know why? Because I have shit to offer. I have a personality. I don't just sit on my fucking basement playing fucking Fortnite all night and expecting some fucking, you know, Cindy Crawford or whomever the fuck these nerds are fucking jerking off to just show up and fuck me out of nowhere. Like, for fuck's sakes. This is why I fucking hate tribalism. And I've been saying this so much. Racism isn't the issue. Fucking feminism isn't the issue. Fucking supremacism isn't the issue. Tribalism is the issue. And the second you fucking get together and you find your tribe and you guys, again, are sitting in a fucking safe space where you can just fucking chirp your own bullshit, this is what happens. Yeah. This is what fucking happens when people do not have their ideas challenged.
Well, and that's the point, like the point you're making. If you spend all your time on this incel.me, hating women and not going out and getting a personality and interacting with women, you're never going to find somebody.
Well, even that, they bitch about the Chads and the Stacys. Oh, the Chads only go, or the Stacys only go for the guys with the muscles. Then get a gym membership, you lazy fuck. Like, how about wash your fucking face, get rid of some of the pimples, and fucking do something? Yeah. How about not being a fucking loser?
Exactly.
No, it really doesn't come down to looks. It comes down to you being a fucking loser.
I say this all the time. My father was a big guy. Now, granted, he wasn't ugly. He was a handsome enough guy, but he was big. He was severely overweight.
That guy, confidence.
I could go anywhere with my dad from a young age into my teens, and women would hit on my dad, always trying to get him up. And my dad was a serial womanizer.
Yeah,
you know, very easy for him to find a chick, and so it has nothing to do with looks. It really does come with personality.
It absolutely does. And like I've been saying, the second these people get in their safe spaces with people sharing the same ideas, and then it just starts to push to an extreme, and then to an extreme, and then to an extreme, and then you end up with an Elliot Rogers, or you end up with this asshole in fucking Toronto, or you end up with the people that are on incel.me praising him as a fucking hero.
Yeah.
10 fucking people died, and he's now a fucking hero to these losers.
The martyr for the cause, right?
You know what I mean? Like, fuck this shit. And it goes for everything. You even think of Islamic extremism. They could harbor these feelings for the Western world all they want, but it's not until they get in their safe spaces, i.e. their mosques, and they start fucking, you know, sharing their ideas, and they encourage each other to hate, and then they encourage each other to commit more and more fucking violent acts, and then we get to where we are, where we're like, well, what's the problem? Your fucking idea of a safe space is the fucking problem.
Yeah, that's why it
bothers me.
I'm so happy that this guy wasn't killed by the cops. This guy's going to be in prison. He's going to have to face this shit for the rest of his life, and he better hope he doesn't, you know. And maybe he'll find a prison wife in jail. You never know.
He'll fucking commit suicide. I'm guaranteeing it.
Probably.
The fact that he was trying to commit suicide by cop tells me that he's going to fucking try to off himself in prison.
Yeah, I agree.
Which, again, pisses me off. Because I hate when people take the loser way out. Like, and I really do. And I'm not to say that all suicides are the loser way out, but that's the loser fucking way out. You know what I mean?
No. For this guy, definitely.
It really bothers me. It really bothers me. And I've known guys fucking back in high school that couldn't fucking get girls or anything like that. But the second they found that niche that gave them confidence, guess what? They could find partners, and not just sexually, like actually truly find a fucking partner in life. But, you know, it's all about them Chads and Stacys. Like, fuck out of here.
I know. Buddy, I know. It drives me crazy. And that's what I've noticed a lot in the last, I was saying this, like maybe 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, if you go back to like the 70s and the 80s, there's always been like, you know, the hot chick or the hot guy, right? The Chad and the Stacey.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, like you just found somebody you liked and you dated them, right? I mean, and looks always matter. Don't get me wrong. Looks always matter.
100%. I can't be with someone if I'm not physically attracted to them in some sense. I understand that. But if I knew, like, if I had the inclination that women just didn't find me sexually attractive at all, but I could just go and get a gym membership, spend an hour fucking every day of my life to change that, why wouldn't I? Oh, no.
Get a new hairstyle, get some new clothes.
But no, let me just rent a van and murder 10 fucking people, because that's what's going to fucking help my
and
cause.
that's what I was going to say. These guys, I really feel like, and I see this on like comments. So like, you know, when you watch any kind of reality show, say, right? So say I'm watching The Voice and they're like, oh, that chick's ugly, that chick's ugly, that chick's ugly. And I'm thinking, well, are you on the cover of GQ? Are you on Men's Fitness? You know, you're expecting that some hot chick will find you attractive, but you're not attractive.
You're not attractive.
What do you have for her? What do you have for her? If you don't even have a good personality, I mean, even Bill Gates, who's not a very handsome man, got a chick.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
Zuckerberg's got a chick. So it's not just money. You have to have some sort of personality that can attract them too.
It's just ridiculous. And I mean, again, if we didn't allow people safe spaces, if we didn't say like, no, incels, you guys can have your incel.me and just teach each other to become violently misogynistic. No, we shouldn't allow that shit. And I feel the same way. But how do
you stop that? Because the internet is a place of freedoms. Would you be happy if they went in and shut down incel.me?
No, not at all. And I've expressed my belief with this a few times, and I'll say it again. Everyone has the right to say whatever the fuck it is they're thinking, but do not think that you have the right to do it without somebody challenging you. And that to me is where the problem lies, is that these people, these incels, these feminists, these whatever fucking ism you want, or whatever the fuck it is you want to put on it, have been allowed to segregate themselves into places of groupthink with no one challenging their fucking views, with not a single person.
And if you went in there and tried to challenge them, you'd probably be banned immediately.
There it is, right? I'd be barred from their safe space. I mean, even the guy that killed all the cops in fucking Dallas. Yeah. Now, he was a part of BLM. Now, BLM kicked him out for fucking being too extreme. But he found a fucking website where they encouraged this level of violence, this level of, I guess, racial resistance, if you want to put that kind of label on it. And it bothers me. Because at the same point in time, I do believe in a sense that safe spaces can be okay. In a sense. In a sense, I can get it.
There's certain things, like I want to have a breast reduction, so I want to go to a group of women who know what I've gone through.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. But if you are talking about raping women, putting acid in their faces, killing men because they're just men, killing black people because they're black, killing white people because they're white, this is where we get wrong.
Right, because that was one of the first things I seen. This was before the whole quote unquote incel rebellion bullshit. I seen this one feminist, she goes to Ryerson University, which of course, because that's a fucking hive of just bullshit. And after, you know, these fucking seminars or whatever, came out and said, no, I believe that all men should be forcefully castrated. Like, what the fuck? Like, we're allowing this level of thought. We're going to allow this as a society. No one's going to fucking step up and challenge this shit.
No, that's crazy.
Do you know what I mean? And that's where my anger towards this stuff comes from. It's not even what they believe. I've said it before. I don't give a fuck what you believe. I don't give a shit. I don't care if you believe that because you're white, you have superior genetics. Cool. Believe it all you want. But don't expect me not to fucking challenge you.
Exactly.
Don't expect me to allow you a fucking quote-unquote safe space to spew this fucking nonsense. I will fucking challenge you, and I believe everyone should fucking challenge anybody when they hear anything like this. And I don't just
start a mass of people joining incel.me and just like troll the shit out of them.
They dealt with that one already. Now you have to, you know, you have to answer a questionnaire essentially to fucking. It's just bullshit.
Do you hate women? Are you an ugly troll? Do you want to rape women because they won't have sex with you?
Like, and that's what I'm saying though. Like, again, throughout history, there has always been the guys who unfortunately weren't landowners. So no father would sign their fucking daughter over to them. Did those guys go on murderous fucking rampages? Maybe,
well, and you've always had the spinsters too, right? Like, think about it. The spinsters, you know?
Exactly. It's just, it's the stupidest fucking thing. And I can't believe that I'm fucking sitting here right now having to fucking talk about fucking losers. You know what I mean? Like, I really can't believe that we're at a fucking time in life where these fucking losers are dictating a conversation. Like, normally you just get ignored.
You don't even see them. These are the guys that are invisible for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't have anything. And I'm not talking about looks. I'm like, there's nothing striking or... you know, rememberable about them.
Exactly. You know, it's again, and I'll say it. I'll continue to say this. If you want to believe in anything, fucking believe it. I don't give a shit. I don't care what the fuck you believe. But do not think that I will not fucking challenge you on your beliefs if I believe they're fucking abhorrent. And I think as a society, we should all take that fucking standpoint. If you ever hear anybody, I don't even give a fuck if you sympathize with BLM. You hear BLM spouting their racial fucking supremacy bullshit, you challenge them. Yeah. You do not allow people to have free reign on such violent ideas. And not even violent from the get-go, but ideas that have the potential to become violent. I mean, I don't want to draw the comparison between fucking what's going on now and how it kind of relates to Nazi fucking Germany. But, I mean, there's a lot of fucking parallels. There's a lot of parallels with how the Nazis had their own safe spaces to talk about how the fucking Jews were oppressing them. Yeah. And they murdered a whole fucking, you know, a fucking continent's worth of people. Like, it's so frustrating to me. It's so frustrating. But, I mean, there's nothing, they're there, you know, they're there. There's nothing really we can do that's a quick fix. We have to challenge these people at every fucking opportunity we get.
Yeah, we do.
And that's everyone. Again, that's anybody that relates to any type of ism or anything like that. We have to challenge these people. We cannot let them live in a world where their ideas don't get challenged. Because remember, my ideas get challenged every fucking day.
Well, and it's coming across like this is the thing every single day. And this is in your real life. So like when I go to work and, you know, I always talk about the guy who I believe, well, I don't believe he's a complete racist. He's a misogynist. You know, when he says things, I say, don't say that.
Yep.
You know, like if he says something hateful that I find offensive, I say, you don't say that at work.
No.
You know, those sort of things. Or I'll say, no, you're wrong. Or don't include me because he likes to say we because I'm white, right? So he likes to say we. I'm like, don't include me in your we. No. I'm never part of your we.
No.
You know, and you have to say that. You have to stand up and say these things.
And that's what it is, right? Like,
I'm not going to be included in his racism. So when he starts making comments about how the civil rights were the worst thing to happen to black people, you know, I say, don't include me in your group, okay?
How much fucking rebel media does that idiot consume?
Oh, I'm sure he eats a lot. And I'll be standing there and he'll say things like that in front of people of color. I'm cashing out a black lady and he said that to me. And I'm like, no.
Jesus Christ. That takes some
another
balls.
time he said, oh, because, you know, I said, I'm Ukrainian. He's like, oh my God, you're Slavic? I'm like, yeah, I guess. He goes, how does it feel to be part Asian? I'm cashing out an Asian person. I'm like, it feels the same as it did yesterday. I don't care.
See, but there's the beef that I have with all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because he's now taking pride. Excuse me. He's taking pride in something that he did nothing to achieve.
Exactly.
It's the one thing that always bothered me back when I was hanging out with the skinheads. You know, it really did bother me when I would hear them go, yeah, but white people and we get the, you know, we get to say that white people change the world. Like, no, you don't. You've done nothing. You just drink Pabst Blue Ribbon all fucking day and listen to shitty punk rock. You've done nothing.
Maybe your ancestor now 1,000 years ago did something, but you did shit.
You have zero right. And if you want to use the fucking argument, which they'd like to use, that, well, no black person alive today was a slave and nobody blah, 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 blah. Well, then you don't get to use the fucking excuse that people that may have looked like you may have done something in the past that benefited society. Go fuck yourself. What have you done? What have you personally done to fucking to develop any type of fucking pride in your life? That's why the whole issue with black pride or brown pride or white pride is just complete fucking nonsense to me. You've done nothing to achieve said pride. You are looking at the lowest common fucking denominator and going, yeah, well, that makes me better than you. No, it fucking doesn't. You sell crack. Like, you're not better than anybody. You're a piece of shit.
You're addicted to oxys. You know.
You haven't bathed your child in a week. You're...
Uh-oh. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Oh, am I fucking up?
No, you just went out for a second, so I didn't know if it was you or me.
All right.
But no, yeah, you're exactly right, and that's the thing. You know, people.
It just bothers me. It bothers me so much.
Can't we all just get along?
Well, no, we can't, because I hate too many people. Like, flat out. And I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. I hate fucking like 90% of the population. I truly do.
But you get along. You don't have to interact with the people you don't like.
Exactly.
But I mean, you know. Can't we all just get along?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
We don't have to gather around the campfire and sing Kumbaya.
That dream died with fucking John Lennon. Like, straight up, that dream died with fucking John Lennon. Like, I'm sorry. It's human nature to fucking hate one another. You know, I've said it I said it today. Tribalism is the fucking root of all this shit. You can take all the isms and all that bullshit that you want, but when it all boils down, it's tribalism that's the true fucking problem. Tribalism it's in us. We can't do away with it.
And it's not even just like tribes like we're used to, like back in the day, where like this tribe. It's like there's so many little. Even inside, like one person can be in like 4 or 5 different tribes, right?
I don't know if you've seen it. Me and one of my friends, who's actually a very knowledgeable guy, had a fairly decent interaction over Facebook after the incel incident. And I was talking to him about my views on tribalism. And I said, like, you can even put me in that category. And he's like, well, how do you mean? I'm a fucking sports fan. I'm a part of the Toronto Maple Leafs tribe. And I have delusionally fucking defended them, even when I'm completely in the wrong. And I have said horrible fucking things to other people when I knew I was in the wrong. You know, now it's a way to
stick the knife in. Yeah,
exactly. It's a way less of a devastating example of tribalism as like racial supremacy or anything like that would prove. Yeah. But it's one that I believe most people can grasp and then kind of understand the concept of what I'm trying to say with that, right? Because it's true. You look at a fan of any sports team, any fucking sports team, and they delusionally.
The term fan comes from fanatic, and it's for a reason.
Right? Exactly. But I just. You know, I'm trying to broaden my view of everything and look at how I perceive the world, or, you know, just how I perceive my life, I guess. But now look at it on a global scale. And that's kind of where I drew that conclusion.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a good analogy. You know, why people, and then you think about it. So as much as you love your sport or your team, right? Think about now somebody who that's their faith and they've grown up in that faith for,
there you go.
25 years,
right?
30 years.
Or, you know, your parents indoctrinated you to be a crazy fucking quote unquote feminazi or whatever the fuck
it is. Yeah, right? Exactly.
Like, I understand that I've kind of shit on the feminists for a bit about this, but that's not what I'm getting at. Like, they're just
one of these quote unquote tribes.
Well, exactly. And they're a known example that I think most people, if you spent any time on the internet in the last 4 fucking years, you've really gotten a grasp of what the fuck they're talking about. But,
no, you're right. Some of these feminazis are crazy.
Oh, it's fucking insane. It's insane. Like, I completely changed my mind on feminism. It was one quote And this lady said, and she fucking meant it too, which is the scariest part, said that even if I have consensual sex with my wife, I still raped her.
Oh, jeez,
Louise. Yeah, right there, I was like, no, fuck you, fuck anyone that fucking identifies as a feminist. You guys are fucking literally cancer to the world. Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that one was a hard one for me to swallow. That's for fucking sure. Because like that's bullshit. And that idea right there, what does that idea breed? Hate. It breeds hate and fear. And what does hate and fear get us? It gets people fucking rounded up into concentration camps. That's what hate and fear fucking gets us.
Well, and then you get the people that are like, oh, look at these women always crying rape over something, right? Yeah. Let's move on.
Okay.
That's good. Let's talk about, we talked briefly, you weren't here for it, the Golden State Killer.
Yeah.
So, this is a guy who was active for about 10 years that they know of, 1976 to 1986, and just outside the Sacramento area in California. They got him through DNA testing. They arrested him last week. Now, the interesting thing that's come out is how they did get him.
Okay.
They tried for years to crack the case. They had fingerprints, nothing, never could get him.
Yeah.
So they started using like websites with DNA, like Ancestry, 23andMe. They originally thought they had him in Oregon. They did the same sort of thing. They tested the DNA. They found somebody that they thought was related to him. They went through it. They actually got a warrant to get his DNA sample because there was so much proof that it could be him. He didn't match. So they went back to the drawing board. They went to a different website and they got him through GED Match. So they found relatives that were related to them that had their DNA on the website, and boom, that's how they found him.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm going to have to, take my DNA off the internet.
Well, you can't because I've got yours on there.
Fuck's sakes. Thanks a lot, Jacqueline.
You're welcome. But, it's funny, but this is kind of like I was saying, honestly, and it's a horrible thing to say, but if my relative was a raper and a murderer, I'm okay with my DNA being used to catch them.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, for fuck's sakes, if I even had a sniff, if I even knew the smallest inclination that somebody in my family was doing something that abhorrent, I'd call the fucking police on myself.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I've expressed this on the show many times, my personal standpoint on crime and punishment and shit. And I do believe that if you want to commit a crime, then fuck you. I will call the goddamn police, and you can deal with what society has deemed correct.
This guy is a real monster. I didn't know you read anything about him. He did like over 500 rapes and break-ins.
Yeah.
He murdered 12 people, and he was a cop.
Yep.
He was a cop when this happened. The reason that he got fired for being a cop is because he got caught shoplifting a hammer and dog repellent or bear repellent. Repellent.
Yeah, that's not a red flag. I don't know what the fuck is.
They had like what do you call those? Profilers back then. So like this stuff was, I remember I used to read, Sister Patty would buy those true crime little magazines with all the true crime stories and stuff.
Yeah.
And I would read them after she was done with them. And I mean, they were talking about profilers back in the 80s, so they knew.
Yep.
It's just, it's crazy how they caught him. And now, of course, people are saying, oh, well, my DNA is not safe on the internet, blah, blah, blah. Well, when I agreed to share my DNA, I know that Ancestry owns that sample now. But they do say, now if they do it or they don't, they do promise that they don't give it to any kind of research companies. And they say that they do not give it to insurance companies so that insurance companies can't check your DNA and then charge you more because you've got a genetic disease, right? So, I don't know. Kind of interesting. And maybe I lost Arthur again. Are you here, Arthur? Okay, well, he's not here. So I'll just carry on for a little bit. Hopefully he comes back. If not, I'm going to end this show because I'm not very interesting by myself. So there was a story that came out from I Fucking Love Science on Facebook today. And it was, Arthur and I always love these science stories. And this one is really kind of freaky. And I think it goes to, a long drawn about story for science. Scientists took, let me read how many exactly it was, between 100 and 200 pig brains. They took them from a slaughterhouse, so they were already dead. They got them decapitated. So it was the whole head with the brains, and using pumps, heaters, and artificial blood to restore oxygen supply, they were able to have billions of individual cells that were like restored. Circulation started again. They were reanimated by chance. Now, there was no electrical activity, so we have to believe that there was no consciousness in the pigs. There was no pain, I hope. But yeah, this is like a huge thing. Like, if somebody gets a traumatic brain injury, we might be able to possibly restore their brains. So, I guess Arthur's not coming back. So like I said, I'm not the most interesting person in the world to talk to by myself. So I will end the show there. Thanks for listening. We'll be back on Wednesday at our regular time. And thanks for listening. Bye.